Welcome back to day 74. 74. Learning to read Chinese. We are continuing with our chapter on Yirong, physical appearance. And our first character of the day is Ao. Ao, which means to stroll or to roam. However, didn't always have this meaning. If we take a look at the etymology. Okay, this is a little complicated. So originally this is a guy with like a feather headdress, and then over here there's somebody with a stick who's like conductor, kind of directing the dance. That's kind of what's going on over here in the earliest version of the character. It's the hand holding the little. Over time, this turned into feng, and then on the right, this is a feng. Feng, which means to let go or to let out, and then this is chu up here, which is from going out, like from inside to outside motion. So it took on this meaning of release. And what else? At some point, this was also used for proud or haughty, which nowadays we use that with a danrenpan. There's a radical on there. It's over here, like the. This one. Yeah, anyway, that doesn't really do anything. It used to be the same character, then to differentiate it, added the person radical on the side of that one. But in this context here, we're still using it like that. Like it used to be used. Like it's no longer used. But in this context, we are using it for that meaning. Even though nowadays we use this. We pronounce it alt, and we use it to mean stroll or roam. So like alming would be those as a nomadic peoples. But here we're talking about noses, so we're talking about tall noses. Stand high and proud. Beat. This one's kind of interesting too. Beat, look at the etymology. Originally this part on the top, this, which now you may know as 自, like 自己, myself. That meant nose. And if Chinese people talk about, like, point to yourself. If you point to yourself, you point to your nose, not to your chest. Like, Westerners might. So just point to your nose. So when the character, the part on the top, came to mean self, then you needed to differentiate it and create a new character for nose. So we added this beat on the bottom, which is phonetic. This has a meaning of, is it phonetic? Yeah, has a meaning of giving, like a function or a service. So, that's the new word for nose. If you look at these old versions, this is like this here. This is kind of like nose. You see, this is like the ala. Like the lobes on the side, and this is like the nostrils, and then this over here would be like the underlying skeletal structure, the top of the nose bridge. This is like the sides, and then this would be like that opening in the skull for the airway, something like that. Now this beat also has, aside from the nose, some other meanings. Yeah, this is B. So that's phonetic. can mean originate or earliest. So like 鼻祖, no, not 鼻祖. 鼻祖 is what you would call like the original iteration of something, or like the original founder of some organization or something. It's got to be 鼻祖, father, founder, earliest ancestor, originator, stuff like that. You'd also use beat for that. Dan means a single, one, solitary, isolated, unlined. That'd be like a single layer. Thin, weak, simple, odd. Can also, so these are all adjectives. As a noun, dan means a bill, a list, a sheet, a ticket, a menu. Those sorts of things. And we've also got a couple other readings. 单于 was the name of the chief, the title of the chief of the Xiongnu clan, which was a people group that lived in ancient China. And this is still, even though that's like an old usage, this being pronounced Chan is still important because there's other characters that have this inside of them that are read, that are pronounced Chan also, and this is serving a phonetic purpose in those characters. And if you're familiar that this also has the pronunciation of Chan, then you could remember that that's what it's contributing to those other characters. And we also have Shan, and Shan is the name of Shanxian, a county in Shandong. It's also a surname. If you see anybody whose surname is this character, it's going to be pronounced Shan. Like there was a guy in the spring and autumn period called Shanbao. Shan. But here it's Dan. Chao. Chao means to stick up or to turn upwards. So this gonna make sense. Because this on the right, if you recall from other characters, this is feathers. And this over here is a yao, which means high or tall. So this is flying up high. Chao, sticking up, turning upwards. So we're talking about upturned noses. Alternate reading, chalt, and chalt refers to long feathers, like long tail feathers on a bird. Raise, arouse, expose, outstanding. Qiao Jing, Qiao Jing. Qiao Tai, an outstanding person. Qiao Pan, eagerly longing. Qiao Qi, looking forward to something. Raising your head, turning upwards, hoping earnestly, eagerly. It's got that kind of reason. It's kind of turning up your eyes, your outlook. Being super optimistic and hoping for a good thing. So here we're talking about a tall and upturned nose. Moving on. Zui. Zui means fall, drop, lose, ruin, weigh down, or any hanging object. And this apparently, originally this was a pig. Now in the simplified version they turned it into a person, because this pig part is, I mean, you look at this originally, this is literally just a drawing of a pig. Sideways, yeah. But a little bit too complicated to write, so just simplified it. But apparently this is like mountains, and then this over here is a mound of dirt, so it's like falling down from the mountains onto a mound of dirt or something. Zui, R is ear. If you look at this very clearly, way back when, this was literally just a drawing of an ear. Over time, it looks less and less like an ear, but that's originally what it was. Ear, the sense of hearing, an ear-like thing. The space is in the wrong spot. Hear, listen. That is all. Sort of an old-timey way of ending a sentence, a thought. Shuang. Shuang is originally used two birds, a pair, a match, duo, two, twins, doubles, even numbers, you know, divisible by two. That's why you got two of them. It's pairs. Two little birds on a branch. That's what the original writing was. See if you turn your head sideways. That's what it's depicting there. It's two little words. So this would be like the opposite or the counterpart of dan. I forgot to look at this. Dan. This was originally some kind of weapon where it's like a forked stick, and then you tie rocks to the two prongs of the fork, and then you can whack people with it, I think. And I mean, clearly it's got two heads, but it does have one handle, so I guess that's what's up with that. Single. Shuang. Huan. Huan. So anything with this, it looks like Wang on the side, but you remember that it's Yu, which when you write Yu, usually it's got the little dot in the right side. But when it's a component of other words, you're going to leave that out. So anything relating to jade, this is a jade bracelet or a ring, anything that surrounds or revolves in a ring-like shape. Huan. And if you look at the original way this was written, on top you get this is an eye. And then below that, there's a clothing. But you've split this in two pieces. In the middle, you put the ring. So it's like there's a guy with his eyes open big and wide, admiring the ring, the big shiny jade ring that he's holding in front of his robes. So that was the original. If you look at like the traditional version of the character, the eye, the robes, and the little ring. So, 坠耳双环. You're talking about the two big earrings that are hanging from the ears. So gotta click this. 先 could be fine, minute, stingy, like miserly with money, delicate, thin, kind of color, silk, fine silk, or staple. So this 先 on the right is 千. That's how it is in the simplified version. But the original version, pretty complicated. This here is jiu, like 韭菜. Chives, Chinese chives, the vegetable. You know what those look like? The leaves are very long and narrow, as you can see. So this is there it is, how those chives grow out the ground, and this is that tool. So you see this in many other characters. This is the blade, the cutting blade that these two little guys are using to harvest the chives. And this on the side here is string. So I guess similar to the long and skinny chives is like this fine, delicate, and thin kind of meaning. It's like the chives that they harvest, or it's like a string. But nowadays this qian is like a simplified form. We just turned all of this into so few strokes, but also qian has a similar sound to xian, so that's a bit of phonetic purpose in there. Qian. It's another way to read this character, and qian refers to a rope for towing a boat, a tow rope or tow line. Makes sense because, again, phonetic qian is in there, and then also the rope radical, strings, ropes, all that kind of stuff uses this. Shou means hand, and this originally was kind of like a drawing of a hand, but pretty abstract. I don't think it ever really truly resembled a human hand, but more like a weird claw. But that's the idea behind it anyways. So a hand, or anything done by hand, like handwriting, can also mean a skill, means, ability. Somebody wrote something personally, you'd say 亲手. 手工 would be like handiwork. Portable, like you can hold it in your hand. A person good at a certain trade or doing a certain job. You can use 手 to refer to a person when you're specifically referring to their skill at a certain task. O is a lotus root, which looks like this. We eat them. And this, if you look at this on the top, is grass, and that tells you that it's a plant. And on the bottom, we got O is also read like that. And this is the one in like pale. See this pale on the right. I think that the right part is the same. The left part is not. It's this one. This is O, which means a companion, mate, or spouse. This is a little monkey. Huh? Apparently it's a little monkey. Over here, yes. And a stick. Well, anyhow, so that little monkey that existed in that other word that means mate or companion or spouse brings to this character the meaning of matched pairs or sets. So like just like the way that lotus flowers, and it's like one lily pad, one flower, and one link of roots. Like one string of, shoot, where am I? One one string of lumpy root segments. P is a arm. That's all it means. And this actually you got a hunk of meat. This is a on top is B also, so it's phonetic. The bottom This hunk of meat tells you it's a body part. This beat. Kai比 排除 动作 Okay, sure. It's got it's here it's saying that beat. It can also that is not right. Kaipi. Is that Kaipi? Kaipi. This on top in that word, it's Kaipi. Kaipi, which is like open up. Or 排除, which is like you're getting rid of something. But these are motions, actions that you undertake with arms. Seems like kind of a stretch to me, but that's a phonetic component. This is a body part. Be arm. So here you can talk about 纤手偶臂. You got these small, tiny, little, fine, delicate hands and arms like lotus roots. Arms like lotus roots. Talking about like little babies. They have these smooth and I mean that is pretty much like what baby arms are like. If you look at the baby, let's see. Baby arms. Oh, look at that. Look at those baby arms. Little tender, soft, white, puffy little baby arms. Resemblance is uncanny. So that's what that's about there. Next up, we got bait. This is alternate pronunciations used in this copy. 下手为上，下手为上的部分. Okay, this is used in gu. Okay, so this would be pronounced ga somewhere else, but it's gu here. Gubi. Gubi also means arm, but in this word it's not be. Gubi. Okay. Right. So originally the reason why it's got a car in it is because this character originally meant when your car is not very stable, not very robust. Maybe it keeps breaking down all the time. It's not sturdy. And then it came to mean anything that's like soft and weak and feeble and flexible. And then it became talking about not just things that are weak and feeble and prone to falling apart, but just anything that's soft in texture, like pillows or like baby's cheeks or like unbaked dough and anything like that. We use ran for all of that stuff. Jing is a neck, or something resembling a neck. And if you look at this originally, I'm so sorry about this advertisement. If you look at this originally, on the left, this was like a loom, and the weight that hangs at the bottom of the loom that keeps all your warp threads under tension so they're straight while you're weaving. And so that's jing. It's not used by itself as a word anymore, but you'll see like jing, which is jiaos upon the side. It's for phonetic meaning and also for that meaning of like hanging straight. And on the right, you got this, which is but it's used to indicate anything related to a head, because that was what it has been used for in the past. So it's that straight up and down thing that supports your head is the neck. Jing. Alright, I'm gonna expand this. Oops. Expand this window back up. Ranjing. The neck is soft. Gung. If you say Bokar. I can't even do the Arhua properly. This is in some dialects, I think, that necks would be called Bokar. And this is Gung art. But generally we call it Jing. Oops. Next character, Xue. Xue means weaken or cut down. This on the right you'll see is a blade. A blade, and then here's a hunk of meat, and there's little chunks that you've cut off with the blade. Xiao or xue. Xue means to weaken or to cut down, and xiao is paring with a knife, or peel with a knife, delete, cut down, rob, slender. Rob as in like robbery. So like shaving the hair, cutting process. But here we're talking about xuejin. Xuejin, which is sloping shoulders. We're not talking about cutting anything. It's like, I guess, when you pare stuff and you have to angle the knife like a slope so you can get the shavings off. Jin is a shoulder, like the body part. If you look at this etymology, this part up top is just a drawing of a shoulder, and this is like the pectoral muscle or something, hunk of meat. Once again, as usual, tells you that this is referring to a body part. And this is the shoulder, that deltoid muscle, I think. Shoulder, the body part, but also as a verb, to shoulder, like to bear or carry a load. So here, it's xuejin, sloping shoulders. So once again, soft neck and sloping shoulders, just like the delicate little hands and the lotus root arms, are traits of little babies. So that's our 2 lines for today. I'm going to practice what we learned.
梗手
背
熬单鼻翘耳软薛蝉肩
Wow. I do a bit of reviewing. We got 10 minutes left. Okay.
素
Wow. 名不虚传。传出的名声不是虚假的，只实在很好，不是空有虚名。Okay, something that's really genuinely very good and not just been exaggeratedly praised by people. 下落不明。不知道要到选的人或物在什么地方。下落不明。I guess when you don't know where something is gonna land. 坚持不懈。坚持到底一点不死。What is this? 忠懈。Not at all afraid, brave, not at all slack, lazy, sluggish, tired, or loose. Totally resolute. 坚持不懈 OK 源源不断 Something that's continuous and uninterrupted. 络绎不绝形容行人车马来来往往接连不断 It's a continuous flow of traffic. 长治久安国家长期安定巩固坚固 Okay. Wow. What? Changzhi Jiuan. Yes, a country that is stable and at peace for a long time. 供不应求。Supplying 应求。需求供应不能满足需求。Provisions are not enough. 贡献。Dang, that was not working. Whoa. Behaving a little strangely now. 供不应求。The supplies are not adequate for the needs, for the demand. Let's see what else we got. Wow, this is loading really slowly now. Why? Just have to wait patiently. Perhaps. Wow, okay. The entire loading thing passed and it's still not loading the next page. I'm gonna try again. Whoops. Just close my tab. Great, now nothing is loading. Why did I do that? Let's go back home. You know, this might be a sign to end the stream for today. That's what I'm thinking. And, finish your practice, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll finish that chapter on appearance. Bye-bye.